Hey everybody, this is Troy Alexander, Inspiration with Troy Alexander. I'm excited tonight. Got a thumbs up from the producer. Listen, I'm excited tonight. Listen, you know our motto, dream, take that step and walk with purpose into your destiny. Tonight, I'm excited. Listen, we tell you every week, do not give up on your dream. Hold on to your dream. I'm telling you right now. Listen, right now, real quick, I want to make sure that I announce again the initial launch of our virtual talent showcase this Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you can sing, if you can dance, if you can recite poetry, if you are a model and want to do a model walk, whatever your talent is, we are excited, all ages. Listen, we are excited tonight for that launch on this Friday night. If you are interested, listen, send me a direct message on Facebook, on Instagram at Pick by Design, or listen, email me at iaminspiredtroy@gmail.com or m as in Mary.troyalexander@yahoo.com. I'm excited tonight. And guess what? Every month we are going to pick a nonprofit to support. Listen, every dollar counts, every penny counts. But this one is about the Morgan Marie Michael Foundation in support of those on autism with the autism spectrum. We're excited tonight, y'all. Listen, be a part this Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because all we are is about uplifting and encouraging others to never give up on their dream. Tonight, we have a phenomenal guest, but listen, follow us on Facebook, Troy Alexander, on the YouTube, Inspiration with Troy Alexander. And guess what? I take pictures, y'all. Yes, I do. On Instagram, Pick by Design, at Pick by Design. But tonight, it's all about this amazing young lady that I'm about to introduce. Listen, everybody, her name is JACLYN Ashley Laurino. But listen, 28 years of dance training. Listen, her style that she ranges from classical ballet, contemporary, jazz, tap, modern, theater arts, American and international ballroom. Has worked at Montclair State University as a ballet coach to the competing ice skaters. Oh my goodness, at age 17, was accepted in the American Musical and Dramatic Academy in New York City. Currently working on her M.S. degree, my good, in exercise and science physiology. Wow, and listen, she was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes in 2014, and she seeks to spread greater awareness. She's an aspiring professor. Wow, she has also played the role of Queen, is it Inez, I believe, and Princess Esperanza in medieval times in New Jersey and California for 5 years. Let's give it up for JACLYN Laurino. Thank you, JACLYN, so much for being a part of our broadcast. How are you tonight?
Thank you. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my, listen, we're so honored to have you. I gotta ask you, what is it about dance that has inspired you so much, and for you to be a part of it for such a long time? What is it about dance that inspires you?
Yeah, there's so many things about it. I love dance. I fell in love with it when I was 8 years old, taking my first jazz dance class at Bonnie Blue Dance Studios with all of my childhood friends that I still keep in touch with. And from there, I don't know if it was just a mix of having the friendship, the music that would just make me forget about anything I was worried about, my anxiety. Wow. And I definitely wasn't good when I started. I can honestly say I wasn't good, but I had so much feeling behind it that, you know, my technique was awful, but I did it with my whole heart, and I continued to do that as my training got a little better, I hope.
Yes, no, absolutely. I'm telling you, listen, when I read your bio, I'm like, wow, you have done so much in the field of dance. What keeps you motivated? What is it that says, you know what, I'm going to keep doing this? What inspires you?
Yeah, it's hard. It's a lot of things. Wow. I feel like for dance specifically, even when I want to give up, because it's not very easy sometimes, you get criticized a lot. And when I get that feeling, I remember a time where, well, many times where I couldn't dance, and, you know, getting sick over the years, and not only with diabetes, but also before that. And when I'm stopped dead in my tracks, that's what motivates me to do better. And I remember that, and it's like, oh, well, I remember when I couldn't dance and how much I had to work up. So let me appreciate it for what it is when I can move.
Powerful. That's so powerful, JACLYN. I want to ask you, how long was that period in your journey where you couldn't dance?
You know, I'm stubborn, so it wasn't that long. Very, very stubborn. There were a lot of stages throughout my journey, even when I was younger, before diabetes was even a thought in my mind. But as far as that diabetic, when I was stopped dead in my tracks, I would say about a year and a half, I didn't dance at all.
Oh, wow. Was there ever a point in your journey where you questioned if you could ever dance again?
Yes, yes.
How did you deal with that, and how did you respond to that? Because I can only imagine what that was like.
You know, I was dealing with a lot of different symptoms, but the biggest thing is when I would get a lot of the nerve pain specifically, and everything that was kind of shutting down in my body, I had to build back up piece by piece. And in addition to that was my confidence. So even though my body was starting to get stronger, my confidence was just down to the nothing. I just didn't think I could do it, because when I got that sick of being diagnosed with diabetes and having to change my whole lifestyle, I would have to plan out doing a speed walk. So I was thinking to myself, if that is that much work and that much thought, how am I going to go into a dance studio again, have all eyes on me, do a turn? I can't balance. I can't do, and all that. I can't. And I finally just one day I miss it so much, and I have to risk being embarrassed on the dance floor, being vulnerable, looking bad to get better.
That is, JACLYN, that was so powerful what you just said. Being vulnerable, right? But tell me about that process. Was this just you? Did you have folks around you trying to encourage you, or what? And I love what you said, because you said you loved it so much that you got to a point where you said, you know what? It doesn't matter, right? Right? It doesn't matter what they think about me. It doesn't matter what they. But I love that. But during that process, did you have people encouraging you, or was it just you saying, listen, I'm at a point now, and listen, I'm going to do this no matter what?
It was a little bit of both. I had my family all on my side and cheering me on and really helping me get better, not only physically, but mentally, emotionally. So they were all my cheerleaders, but I was just putting myself down, because I know from being in the dance studios and the dance conservatories in New York from a young age, how much pressure I was looking to get back into. So even though everyone would be like, you're the best dancer and you do this, and I'm like, yeah, the best. Yeah, I'm going to go there. Well, watch my turn, And so I guess it comes with being a performer. You put that pressure on yourself. And I was beating myself down. I can admit that, until I got to that breaking point where I just said, no more. I'll just try.
Wow, I love that. Just try.
Yeah.
I love it, JACLYN. Yes, yes. And so many are inspired by what you listen. I'm going to try. How long had you been dancing before you were diagnosed?
Oh boy. So, well, let me see, if I'm 37. So about 20 years, 21
Wow.
years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I could only imagine what that felt like. What was that moment like when you were diagnosed?
Oh, it was very difficult, because it wasn't just a diagnosis where you went to a doctor and they said, listen, here's what's up. You have diabetes. And not only that, you have type 1, which I didn't even know what that was, to be honest with you. I've heard about it, had no idea what it was about. But I got diagnosed, being hospitalized, rushed to the hospital in DKA, diabetic ketoacidosis. Long term, but basically your body is just shutting down. Every system in your body is shutting down because of the high blood sugar. So I got diagnosed being hospitalized for 5 days. So it was such a long process to heal. There wasn't just one thing. It was I almost was in denial too, when I was there, and I was being helped by the nurses, the doctors, and they were trying to figure out whether I was type 1 or 2 because I was so old when I got diagnosed, and they couldn't figure it out until a couple days in. And I was just so disgusted, just shaking my head, and I felt so sick. I was just like, oh, I don't, I wasn't taking it, but it was hard.
Wow. I'm still in awe of you because of where you come from. And for people to watch you and see you and say, wow, you went through. Now, if you could explain to our audience, what is it like for a dancer, for when you decided to come back? Like, are you in pain all the time? Is it in spurts? Like, how do you prepare yourself even to dance?
I gotta say it's a little bit of both. I feel like sometimes I'm a balancing act every day. I wouldn't say I'm in pain 24/7. No, there are spurts of it. It comes with the intense exercise. Once I started to train again, I realized that muscle work, what it would do to my nerve pain, and how it would just kick up, and then it would make me get a little bit better, and then it was just kind of like this up and down and up and down. And that's just the pain part of it. There are other things that go into it. There's being nauseous because your blood sugar spikes to 300 when you're just warming up for 25 minutes and you did a lot of muscle work, so your blood sugar spikes, and then you have to take a shot midway through your routine, not routine, but your warm up, or before you go into tendus or whatever. And it's a lot of balancing.
So I want to ask you because you've taught dance for so long, right? So when you go in and all eyes, because you said all eyes are on you, do you let your students, or do you let the class, or do you let those around you know that you have diabetes, or is it like you don't want to really present that, right? Because you don't want to be treated differently or such, but how do you approach it now?
That's so funny, because that's something I thought of really carefully before I stepped foot back into it. I was like, how am I going to approach this? Am I going to go all out there and have them, how are they going to feel towards me? And I was very lucky. I had some adult students at the time I was teaching privately, and they saw me get sick and they saw me come back to life. So they knew something was wrong. So there wasn't that awkwardness of having to tell them I have to take an insulin shot or I have to check my blood sugar. But over time, when I got more comfortable with that, if I'm teaching a class, I try to lead by example. I tell my students, and I've told my students, to never let anything, there's no such thing as a disability. So you rock what you have. So I'll just go there and I'll do what I have to do as I'm still, changing the music. I'm checking my blood sugar quick, and I just keep going. There are times where I do have to stop very briefly, do something to take care of myself, take a sip of a juice box or something. But I try to keep the momentum to show them and that it's okay. I'm fine. Keep them calm as well, and also tell them that whatever they have going on, they don't have to be a diabetic. They can have any vulnerability or something. Could have anxiety about something, and it's okay. It's just be yourself throughout your class.
Wow, JACLYN, listen, I have to applaud you because you are just so amazing, so inspiring, so uplifting. And what I love about you is you give hope, right?
Thank
So
you.
for those individuals watching the show now, like, listen, even all that you went through, and even how you said that you weren't able to, that you stopped dancing for like a year and a half, I think you said, right? Or so, and then had the courage to come back. But what I love about it is that you have the courage to be vulnerable and to be you, and to still be okay, right? So that no matter what you may be diagnosed with, you still can hold on to your dream. I applaud you, JACLYN. Listen, I'm in amazement, and I am awe of you. How do you? Because I've seen your videos on Instagram, talking about your journey, which I think is amazing. And I want you to definitely share your social media handles. But why do you feel that's important to share your journey? I mean, in this path of being diagnosed as having type 1 diabetes and being able to still move forward. Why is that important to you?
It's become more important to me, I would say, more recently, like over the past year, maybe year or two. If you notice, before that, I didn't, not that I didn't hide it, but I didn't say much about it. And
Right.
the reason for that was because I'll just admit it, I don't want to say ashamed of it, but it's scary to try to explain everything that goes into my day, even just to explain that I have to give myself insulin shots round the clock. There's a lot of judgment against diabetes in general, type 1, 2, borderline. And I just got to the point where I'm just really sick of it. You know, I only have 7 years of experience in this, close to 7 years of being diagnosed, but I got to a point where I was so afraid to share myself and what I was going through with any of my friends and some of my family too. I just didn't want them to feel bad for me. So now I'm kind of at the point where I'm getting a little more courage. And I just think that if I reach someone that just got the same diagnosis I did and is crying for a month straight like I did, or is really not knowing what to do, or a parent that has a child that they don't know why they're that sick, and they just hear me and it touches that person, that maybe I can be a help somewhere.
You are, JACLYN. You are being such an amazing inspiration. Oh my goodness. And I'm so proud of you. And what I love about you, JACLYN, as I read your bio, I mean, you have set dreams upon dreams upon dreams. You keep going. I mean, I said, like, wow, like, you know, currently working on your MS degree in exercise and science physiology. You want to become a professor. I love that about you, because you still have dreams, even all that you've been through. And what does that mean to you? Like how does that make you feel to know that there is more still for you?
Oh, there's so much more. I'm the kind of person, I never want to stop learning.
Yes.
I think sometimes my friends and family are like, what is she doing now? Like, what are you learning now? What class do you take? Like, I'll take a random class about nonsense and be so excited about it. But yeah, with going back to school, that was something I was thinking over the past few years, but you know, it's expensive, and there are roadblocks, and you have to also, I was a little bit hesitant about going for my master's of science, because I've always been an artist. My bachelor's degree is in art. I was always struggling with math and science as well. So this is a real challenge for me, and I'm still earning my way into that master's program, hopefully in a class or two after taking a whole bunch of prereqs, because I have to prove myself. And I just think there's nothing wrong with that challenge. This is something that I don't know, the side of dance that I don't know as well, the science part of it. So that's what I want to learn.
I love what you said. I love your courage to face the challenge, right? You're up for that. And that's important. Even sometimes you might not feel the best, but you still have enough courage to step up to the line and say, listen, I'm going to take on this challenge. But listen, I got to ask you, because you have taught so much. What is it about teaching? Because that, listen, teachers, to me, whatever you teach, I mean, it takes a special person to teach anything. So what is it about teaching that has inspired you so?
Teaching, you know, I could have the worst day, and then I'll have let's say I have a beginner's ballroom adult dance class, group class at night, and we will just end up having so much fun and laughing. And you know, you see them laugh and you realize, you know, I changed their day too. It's not just my day. My mood totally changed, their moods changed, and I taught them a couple of dance steps too. You know, it's practical as well. So it's really about what it makes me feel really good. It definitely does. but it's also, what am I going to bring to them? Am I going to brighten up their day a little bit more? They could have, you never know what anyone's going through throughout their time.
Wow. What do you hope that your students or those that you've taught, what do you want them to learn from you or take away from you in all of your teachings? What do you want them to walk away with?
Never stop learning. Never give up. You're always a student, even me. I tell them that all the time, that I am still a student. I'm still learning. Don't get to a point where you think you're so good, because you're not. You're not that they're not, but they can always be better. The top professionals can always be better. There's always something else to learn. So if you keep that level of being humble and keep learning. I learn from my students as well. I'll have them teach me something, or the way that they learn that I didn't quite understand before, I didn't approach them the right way. And lesson learned to me. I never make that mistake again.
Wow.
And it's always just never stop.
Awesome. Listen, I'm in awe of you. I am so proud of you, JACLYN. I mean, again, listen, I think we met, I believe, during New York Fashion Week. I believe that's where we might have our path crossed. I was taking photos and you were, listen, y'all, she was on the runway. Yeah, I said it.
Yeah.
New York Fashion Week. I mean, just amazing. And you are such an example of courage, of greatness, of hope, of life, of perseverance. I mean, to the point where not only did you dance, but when did modeling come into your pathway? Because I was like, wow, but that's where we met. So how did that become a part of your journey?
Well, you're going to laugh at this, because it was, as usual, I walk into these experiences and it's all by accident. I remember I actually started modeling now. It's been 10 years now. I can't believe it's been 10 years. That gives away my age a lot. But whatever, it's fine. So it was 2011. I was teaching my dance class. I was teaching a ballet class. And the owner of the dance studio, she was doing something with New Jersey Fashion Week. I think she was promoting it, and she was very big into modeling, and she had a modeling part of the school as well. And she always said to me, she's like, JACLYN, you have such good posture. Come on, she was so great, and she was so inspired. And I'm like, no, I said, just let me. I'm fine. It's. I said, I would love to do it. I think it's great. I love fashion. I love being a girly girl. I said, but dancing and walking a runway, I've heard, are two very different things. I'm going to walk like a ballerina. I was like, nah. And I kept kind of like shooing it away. And she's like, well, just give me your photos or something. So I was like, yeah, here you go. She's my boss. And she submitted them to one of the designers in New Jersey Fashion Week. And I ended up being actually a fill-in to start. I was, call it what it is. I was just a fill-in. And she's like, guess what? You're in New Jersey Fashion Week in Hoboken. And I said, what? I said, what are you doing? I said, no, I got to walk down straight. So I said, oh, but that's really cool. I was like, wow, I got to do this. I might never do this again. So I went, and I'm telling you, I was nervous, and I'm used to being a performer because it was such a different feel. But right. I just went, I did my normal thing where I just walk. I felt a little bit of like the runway was slippery. And right. I know that I slid a tiny bit, but no one saw it on the video.
That's right. I didn't know.
Yeah, you didn't see. Okay. So, and from there, I ended up with call after experience, and that turned into New York Fashion Week. And then I was like, wow, let me take that, because this will be a one-time deal. And that turned into 6-7 seasons of it. And I just can't be more grateful for that, for just being there by accident, just showing up.
Not by accident, but I love that, by just showing up. So it's not by accident. Listen, I'm telling you, I believe everything has purpose. But what I love about it was that you were in the room. Right. You, yes. And I always tell people, if they can't see you, they can't hear you, they can't find you. So make yourself visible. And I love that about you is that you made yourself visible. Right. So That's amazing,
But
Jacqueline.
that's all I had to do. I know, and I'm laughing about it too because it really, I was just a fill-in. They're just, she's like, yeah, I can fine. You're gonna walk, and I did.
Wow.
And but you know what? How grateful am I? Because I ended up being in New York Fashion Week, and that was when I met you. That was, I think, just maybe two seasons ago, two or three, maybe 2018. And
Yeah.
I think I was on like my fourth or fifth season of New York Fashion Week. So I got all these opportunities from that one, just showing up and walking and
Yes.
not knowing how to walk. I just walked.
And listen, you never know, right? Where every moment is going to take you. That's why I tell people, listen, go. If the door opens and you're able to get through it, go through it,
Yes.
because you don't know where it's going to lead. And who knew years ago us connecting? And listen, y'all, I've been trying to get a photo shoot with Jacqueline for like years. It's
Yes.
been, well, we're not like around the corner from each other. But one day we're gonna do it. But
We are.
who
We are.
knew?
Yeah.
but who knew that this day would come, where I would have this platform, and that you would be a part of this journey, because I met you then, and now we're here, and you're telling your story, which is what I love, because that's what people need to hear is, how did you get here? How did you make it, right? And so I love that, because you could have said no. I mean, you could have said, listen, I'm not walking. That's not what I do.
Right.
I didn't go to
Right.
school for that. I didn't take lessons. I mean, I don't know if you did or not, but
No, I
it's
went out cold.
wow, Jack. Wow. And you went out cold, but you actually walked in it for 6 or 7 years.
I did. But you know what? With that, I had to take a lot of corrections and a lot of criticism, just like I did in dance. And I just was
Wow.
so appreciative of that first step, because being a fill-in, they have to have a certain amount of models. So I did decent. I have to say, I think I did decent.
You
But
did
now
great.
looking, oh, thanks. I'll show you you know what? This is years back. I don't know if you've seen this video, but I'm gonna show it to you, and I'm gonna ask you
Well,
again
I believe you
how
did great.
I did.
Awesome.
But you know what? From there, I got a lot of criticism. So I took every correction because I'm used to being a dancer. I'm used to being beat down. Performers, and forget modeling. They'll tell you, oh, we don't like the color of your hair, your eyebrows.
Right,
It's
right.
so I just took every correction and I made myself better. And I really do think that I improved with every runway show, just because I took the corrections, even though it wasn't always easy. I did go home
Right.
feeling like, I didn't do good at all, but that's the part of being a performer.
And listen, all of us are criticized at one point or another, but how we bounce back, right? How we take that and build on it and become better. And I love the fact that you took an opportunity, having never walked, right, in
Yeah.
New York Fashion Week or but you decided to take that step. And I love that about you, Jacqueline. I love the fact that you were willing. Listen, I never did radio before all this happened with Hamilton Radio. Like, I didn't go to school for radio. I didn't do, but it's about a desire, a passion, a purpose. And when you see the door, walk in it. I love that about you. I love that about you. Oh my goodness. So we're so proud of you. And listen, I mean, so much has happened in your journey. I mean, are you going to continue? I mean, do you see yourself like, continue to go to castings or to things of that nature?
I do. I don't think this is the end of it for me. I do feel like I've taken on with this, with this whole thing with the pandemic. It's stopped
Yes.
everyone.
Yes. Yes.
And my teaching, has been, I don't want to say pushed aside, but it's been a little bit less, and teaching Zoom is a little bit different. But I think I'm going to keep going because it's just whatever opportunity. I don't know how many more seasons of specifically New York Fashion Week I'm going to do, but if I see a great opportunity to do it and they want to cast me at 37, I'm going to just go, because why not? That's kind of how I see it. I am a little bit more focused now on going into my next chapter of really
Yes.
studying science to and exercise science. I will hopefully be at the level in a few years to maybe teach an adjunct level in the universities, I would hope. That's kind of what I'm looking to do. But if I see a good casting, I'll just show up and
Listen,
with no training, just go.
Listen, everybody, she's available. JACLYN, make sure if you're a fashion designer and you need a model, a phenomenal young lady, I'm telling you right now, listen, I know what age you said, JACLYN, but to me, you're like 20, 25 years old. To me, anyway, I mean, you don't,
Thank you.
Amazing.
I think they think that. So, we just blew it, but it's fine.
Yes. Only between us. Only between us.
No, it's a privilege. It's a privilege, really.
Yes.
I'm so grateful to be chosen.
You're a wonderful example to so many. I mean, your journey, JACLYN, has touched upon so many facets of life, right? From dealing with the diagnosis to dealing with even your age now, how you talked about your age and how you're still doing. Yes, you are breaking down so many barriers. Listen, if you have a will, if you have a drive, right? Don't let anything hold you back or stand in your way. Go ahead and knock on the door. Go ahead and take the step. So I'm so proud of you, JACLYN. I am so proud of you. Listen, I want to ask you really quick, because part of your journey was working at Montclair State University, working with ice skaters.
Yeah.
Wow. How now tell me, how does your gift of dance, because I kind of understand to a degree, but like dancing on ice, is that kind of what they were kind of doing?
Yeah, these were definitely ice dancers, more so, and couples. So I took, and everything that I know, I'm just going to be clear, I taught it like strict ballet to them, because that was what my strength was. Being an ice skater, ice dancer, not my strength.
Right.
I'm going to just have a disclaimer.
Right.
But at the time, those dancers really needed that core balance, to understand their center of gravity better, to know how to, lean into something, and doing a pirouette or whatever turn that they were doing, and they just had to get a little bit tighter with those things. So that would really improve their performance. And I saw so many changes in their performance, and they were phenomenal ice dancers. I couldn't do what they would do, but it was so great to be able to teach them a part of what I know, share a part of what I am really good at, to, let their performance be great.
And you're still taking on, right? If someone wants to hire you to teach dance.
Yes.
Yes. Listen,
absolutely. I'm available. Yeah, I do wedding choreography too,
Oh, really?
I do. Oh, those are the best couples. Yeah, those are a lot of fun.
Wow. Really? Weddings?
I do, yeah.
So they learn a dance for like the wedding? Is that how, like a learning, or how?
Oh yeah. Oh, you have no idea. I've gotten all different kinds of couples. I've gotten the couples that come to me the night before, like, I don't know how to dance. Can you help me? And I'm like, what am I gonna do? How long are we gonna be here? And you just do something, get them comfortable on the floor. And other ones want a full-blown routine. So that's even more fun for me. It's great. It's great to be a part of their day like that.
That's amazing. Listen, and make sure that you give all of your contact information, because we want to make sure that if people want to find you and hire you, and that they know how to get in touch with you. So make sure at the end of our broadcast, we're going to make sure you have all of your social media handles and all the ways that people can contact you. I am so amazed. Listen, I got one more thing that I want to kind of just talk about, and then we're going to bring it back in. But listen, you were, oh my goodness, Princess Esperanza. I think that's how you say it, right?
Yes, I was.
And Queen Inez.
Yes, that was another JACLYN walking into a performance by accident.
Listen. I saw Medieval Times. I went there many times. The one in Jersey, right? And for those of you who don't know, Medieval Times is this arena that you go into, and you're sitting and you're watching like these knights, right? And they're jousting on like live horses and it's acting, it's princesses, it's a play, really. It's an amazing play. And you eat the food with your hands like they did back in the, I mean, it is. And so you did that for 5 years?
I did. I was young at the time. I started there when I was still attending the conservatory in New York, when I was attending M.D.A. And I was working there on the weekends. And I just turned 18. So I was really, really young at the time. And I was working in the photo department, and I would always, being, in acting school, I took my whatever character I was playing to like a whole new level. Everyone's like probably making fun of me, like, oh, well, where does she think she is? But I was, oh, my lords, my lady, like I would have so much fun with it. So one day there was, and I don't know what the situation was, but there was an emergency where they had no queen for the show.
JACLYN, wait. You're telling me that you are working the photo booth?
Yes.
and somebody in the cast couldn't make it.
Right. And once again, typical of me. Yeah, this was amazing. I was actually I was in the photo department, but I was closer to the front, like as the people come in, and you usually go in and you take a picture. At the time, they had a reason why it was queen and princess. There was a king and a queen for the show, and then later on they switched it over to a different show with a king and his daughter, the princess. So at the time it was king and queen. I was really, really young, and they just went scrambling looking for someone just to put on a costume, because there was just a couple of lines, and it was just more, you got to take the pictures, and you have to go up there, make like one toast, and they're looking at me funny, and I'm like, what are they doing? And here I am, 18 years old, and they're like, you go to acting school, right? I think we saw, you just started. I was like, yeah. They're like, come on, what size are you? Come on. And they took me backstage. They start putting on my outfit, my queen thing. I had the donut around my head. And I was like, are you kidding me? I had to go out, and I had to put the mic on, and I had a couple of lines, but it was so much fun. I was like, how do I walk into these situations? All I did was show up for work. So I ended up doing that, and that turned into, I guess I must have done an okay job, because they wanted me to come back and do another performance, or just start as a fill-in, just like with modeling. And the fill-in turned into a full-time position as the princess when they changed the show, which was a bigger role, and she had a lot more lines, and she was a lot more animated as a character than the queen was. And it was just such a great chapter in my life.
JACLYN, you need to write a book.
I know.
You need to write a book.
I just keep showing up, and I don't know. But
yes, you keep showing
again,
up.
That's it. That's all you got to. But that's what I tell people too. I said, don't, I know it's scary sometimes, to be up, in front of the camera or whatever, but just try it. Worst case, you mess up a little bit, like that's life. So that was how I became the queen and princess for 5 years.
Wow. Listen, I'm telling
you gotta laugh.
You don't know what this show is doing for so many people. I mean, I'm sitting here saying, wow, she just showed up. Right. And so you never know. But you know what I love about your story is the fact that you were doing the photo booth. So you didn't, somebody could say, you know what, I'm not doing that. But you were okay with doing the photo booth.
Absolutely.
And another door opened up. So I'm always encouraging people, listen, don't think that you have to go in at level 10, right? Just do what, just be in the room, right? I mean, just be there, and you never know where that door is going to lead. Oh my goodness, JACLYN, I'm sorry. You
gotta laugh at it, because now I have two funny stories of just walking into, New York Fashion Week and medieval times.
You need to just walk into like Wall Street, the Walk around. Just walk around.
I should. Once things start opening, you don't know. I really don't care.
Yes.
But that's what it is. You have to not care to a level.
Wow.
And it's just like you said, you have to be willing to not be. There's always a starting point. You're never.
Yes.
You can never start at the top. So just walk
Wow.
in.
Wow, Jackie. Listen, you need to just keep never stop walking.
never stop just showing up.
Just wherever you can show up, just show up, because somebody's gonna. But what I love is that there is something special about you. There is something. There's a light about you. There's a greatness in you that people can see and recognize, because they wouldn't ask you if they didn't see it themselves. So I am so grateful for you, and grateful for your journey, and grateful for just all of who you are and who you are still becoming. Is there anything that we don't know that's on your vision board that you're willing to share with us? Or, I mean, because again, like I said, you continue on, and I love that about is that you don't give up. You keep pursuing, you keep pressing forward. But is there something on your vision board that we don't know of at this time?
Oh, I'll be here all night. I always have something else that I feel like I could possibly do. Right now, like I said, I'm focusing a lot more on school and getting really good at that, so that I can be a really amazing dance professor later on, exercise science, professor. And, I might think about going. I was dancing ballroom at a professional level at some point, to some degree, where that kind of went up and down, and I didn't quite get to the level I wanted to. I would think about in time maybe going back to that in a chapter and doing some more competing ballroom. Wow. Maybe down the line. Yeah.
It's amazing. Well, listen, I will not be surprised at all once you cross that stage. Having that degree, and I hope you definitely let me know when and where, and hopefully we'll be in a better place in this pandemic.
Yeah.
And I would love to be there to support you walking across that stage as best I can, or if I have to wait outside the auditorium and take your photo. But
that means so much to me. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. You are such an inspiration, JACLYN. I so appreciate you. Is there any more that you want to share with us about your journey that we haven't talked about? Because really, I'm on at the end of the show, I'm going to give you just the last words, just to really inspire those to never give up on their dream. But is there more that we don't know about your journey thus far?
I would just say, and I mentioned it before, just no matter how many times you get kicked down, you have to get back up. And I know that that's not the easiest thing to do. I'm going to be really real with everyone, where I say that there are days where I am so depressed with what I have to deal with, but it stays temporary, because I try to make it that way. So if I don't give myself inspiration to move on to the next day, I was like, okay, well, you know what? I was really hurting today. I couldn't exercise. There'll be days sometimes where I get to go to do a couple crunches, and all I can do is 5, but I will do 5 though. And I'll be like, okay, tomorrow is going to be a better day for me. Tomorrow I'm going to go for a speed walk, and tomorrow I'm going to. So just don't stop. Don't doubt yourself. And when you do it's just a setback. It's just temporary. It doesn't last forever. It might, change around by the next day, but you have to just keep yourself motivated. And sometimes that means just trying to find anything that you're grateful for, or inspired by, to keep going with your goals, and that you can do it no matter what you have. I don't care if you've got diabetes, anxiety, which I've had for many years, anything, you can do it.
Well, she's amazing, everybody. Listen, JACLYN LAURINO, thank you so much. You are so awesome. And listen, we're not done yet, but thank you so much. You are just a light of hope. You really are. Listen, where can people find you? Like how can people get in touch with you if they want to hire you for dance lessons, or just even talk to you? Like if they have someone that's in their family, or a child, or a daughter, or a son, or anyone that is going through the same journey that you've gone through, and just to inspire, how can people get in touch with you?
You can always get in touch with me here on Facebook through Messenger if you need to. I also have an Instagram, JACLYN Ashley 1224. You know, that, I mean, if you're more comfortable emailing, that's fine too, but I will always make the time. Even if it's just a quick, you know, if you want to drop it, some people feel more comfortable in Messenger or something, I'll always make the time to share a piece of my story or to help them with a question about diabetes or anything else, or dance inquiries.
Well, listen, JACLYN, I can't say enough of how much you mean, not only to me, but to everybody that's watching this broadcast and that will watch it at some point, that your words have inspired life. Your words have given hope. And I hope that in any moments where you feel like you just might not be at the point where you want to be, that you watch this broadcast back and hear me say this: you are amazing. You are changing the world. Every space that you walk in, it brings light. Every room that you go into, it brings hope. So you have purpose, you have meaning, you have value, you have worth, and you mean so much to so many people that you will never even know. So I thank you so much for sharing your story, your journey with us. Before we end the show, do you want to give any shout outs to anyone, anyone you want to acknowledge that's been a support to you along your journey? And if not, it's fine, because I know you don't want to leave anybody out. But I always give all of our guests the opportunity to share and give anyone's the acknowledgement that has helped them along their path thus far.
Now, you know, I'm Italian, right? So if I don't name everyone in my family, I'm just kidding. They're gonna have me on their list. So I'll keep it short, and I will just give a shout out to my mom, because I know that she is watching right now, and she said that she's going to tune in, and I know she's also very busy right now, and she's still making the time to watch it. She's been such a help through all of my diagnosis, this whole process, but of course my whole life. So I got to give a shout out to Mom.
Wonderful. Well, a shout out to Mom. Again, everybody, please follow this young lady, JACLYN LAURINO. Again, the name will be in the title of the heading. I will put her contact information in terms of social media such, but please follow her, stay connected with her. Just continue to uplift, and just thank you, JACLYN, so much. Any last words that you want to share before we go off?
Just never give up. You can do it. No matter what. No matter what.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, JACLYN, so much. Everybody, this is Troy Alexander, Inspiration with Troy Alexander. We'll be back next Monday night with an amazing guest. Again, you know my motto: dream, take that step, and walk with purpose into your destiny. Thank you so much. Have a great night, and never give up on your dream. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, JACLYN.